From separate schools to time apart, Sarah Jessica Parker's daughters may be twins, but they're not as alike as you might think. James Wilkie Broderick was excited to become a big brother. When it was time to rush to the hospital to greet his little sisters, he spared a moment to grab a comb, look in a mirror, and make himself as presentable as possible. Sarah Jessica Parker shared with Vogue, "He doesn't know that I heard him say, 'I have to be handsome when I meet my sisters.' It killed me." James also wanted to be involved in naming the twins, but was only adamant about his parents using one moniker, Marion. Parker told the Daily Beast his reason for picking the name was a mystery to her, but she indulged him without explanation. Parker recalled that her son told her, "You put that name on the birth certificate. Don't you just humor me." James even chose which twin would bear the name, opting for the sister who more closely resembled him, as reported by Elle. Everyone else referred to Marion Loretta Elwell Broderick as Loretta or her nickname Kitty. Parker also gave Tabitha Hodge Broderick a nickname, Babe. She told Vogue, "Babe Broderick, Kitty Broderick. It's like it's 1940. It didn't take James long to take on the mantle of the protective older brother." Parker told Elle in 2009, "He said something about a theoretical idea that if someone made fun of my sisters, I'd be really upset." However, James also reserved the right to tease the twins as much as he pleased.
Best gift you've ever received?
My children.
Parker relished every moment of those early weeks with her daughters, including the bits that some parents would rather skip. Her views on dirty nappies might nauseate those who dread changing time. She told Elle, "I love the smell of diapers. I even like when they're wet and you smell them all warm like a baked good." When the twins were 4 months old, Parker was willing to give up 7 weeks worth of wrapping up poopy plastic pastries to go film Sex and the City 2 in Morocco. Per Marie Claire, Loretta and Tabitha weren't yet old enough to get all of the shots recommended for traveling there with their mom. Parker told The Telegraph, "That was really distressing." But according to the actor, her twins ultimately benefit from the family time she sacrifices to go work. It is, after all, Parker's Sex and the City money that allows her to provide them with incredible experiences that other children don't have access to. Parker pointed out to the Belfast Telegraph, "They get to travel with me and meet interesting people because of the particular strange choices I've made." Parker told Elle she was surprised at how little Tabitha and Loretta Broderick resembled their older brother when they were babies. Early on, she also discovered that the twins had distinct personalities. In a 2011 interview with Parade, Parker revealed that Loretta was the more interactive and observant of the two. Her way of seeking attention from her mom was by pointing out interesting sights and sounds to her. As for her twin, she preferred being pampered over conversing with her parents. Parker shared, "Tabitha does not give, she receives." The budding fashionista also liked to be arrayed like a little princess. Parker told Elle, "She's crazy for bows. She wants her head covered in them." Another major difference between the twins had Parker joking that they'd embraced opposing political ideologies as toddlers. She told The Telegraph, "One of them likes to eat all the time. The other only if she's really hungry. One of them is a Democrat and one of them is a Republican." However, the sisters did have one thing in common, and Parker said that it made it possible for her to spend less time working out. In a 2011 appearance on This Morning, she shared, "My daughters insist on being carried at the exact same time. They're like 25 pounds now each." Fans of Sex and the City have long adored Carrie Bradshaw's penchant for mixing prints and pairing unexpected pieces together to create some of the most visually interesting outfits on television. Parker gave her daughters the opportunity to do the same by deciding to offer them little style guidance. She told People in 2013, "They pick out their own clothes every single day." Loretta and Tabitha were just 3 years old at the time, and Parker said that they made their clothing decisions after nap time. Their parents only offered input if their outfits weren't weather appropriate. Of the fashion freedom she allowed her daughters to have, Parker told ABC News, "It's not hurting anybody for them to express themselves that way. For school, whatever makes them feel good and heard is fine." While Parker told People that Loretta would ask for assistance on occasion, Tabitha preferred to be a true trendsetter by trusting her own style instinct. The twins were also allowed to choose their accessories. Parker said, "It's very amusing and entertaining for me." But some of the accessories Tabitha and Loretta wanted to wear weren't just plastic bead necklaces or hair bows. Parker told CBS News that the twins were already raiding their mom's jewelry box at age 3, which she was totally cool with. She explained, "I've told them basically all of it's theirs, with some set aside for my son."
Heels or flats?
Parker wants her daughters to someday benefit from her status as a star with 2 of Hollywood's most fashionable feet. She told Elle in 2009, "The only tragedy would be if their feet are bigger than mine." In a 2014 interview with ET, Parker revealed that they were already expressing an interest in her collection of high heels. Tabitha mastered the art of walking in them first. In fact, she was already running in the footwear like a mini Carrie Bradshaw. Parker shared, "Loretta slightly more timid in her movements. She also didn't feel like the twins were quite ready to practice their runway walks on the pavement as preschoolers, telling people they are forbidden to leave the house in them. Wearing heels as often as she has, Parker has learned a thing or two about foot care. While pedicures can help keep tootsies in tip-top shape, it's not always easy for a global superstar with 3 kids to find time to get one. Luckily, Parker found a budget-friendly method for making her soles silky smooth, and it also served as a way for her to bond with Tabitha and Loretta. She told InStyle in 2016, "My daughters and I take some sand and rub it all over our feet, and we treat it like a pedicure." During a 2016 chat with Andy Cohen at NYC's 92nd Street Y, Parker confronted her pal over an anecdote about her daughters in his tell-all, Superficial: More Adventures from the Andy Cohen Diaries. Cohen had expressed surprise that Tabitha and Loretta Broderick were pocketing the money they were making selling lemonade, but Parker revealed that they reopened their lemonade stand a week later and donated the proceeds to an elephant charity. She explained that the enterprise was designed to teach her daughters an important financial lesson. There is an art to you becoming a philanthropic business that donates. You can only do that when you are sustainable. In a 2016 interview with ET, Parker revealed that one of the twins already possessed the same entrepreneurial spirit as her mom, saying, "Apparently, one of my daughters is plotting to take over."
She has designs, so to speak, on running, as she says, Mama's company.
In addition to teaching her daughters about business, SJP has shared some important lessons about self-confidence and beauty with the girls. She told British Vogue that she encourages them to make style choices that make them feel good, instead of giving them her honest opinion when she doesn't like something they want to wear. She said, "I give them far more advice about manners. I have a strong suspicion that if they're good people out in the world, they'll be considered beautiful." In a 2018 interview with People, Parker revealed that her then 8-year-old daughters were not the type of twins who were inseparable, saying, "They go to different schools. That's Tabitha's idea." The actor also shared that Tabitha often enjoyed her own company more than that of her sibling, but this didn't mean that she disliked Loretta. Parker explained, "They have different interests. They're really devoted to each other, but they'll also say, 'I need time away from her.'" One event that the twins didn't seem to mind hanging out together at was New York City's ballet's 2018 Spring Gala. Tabitha and Loretta even rocked similar outfits for the occasion, dresses with the same A-line silhouette, which they accessorized with headbands. They wore matching Mary Jane shoes and carried identical bejeweled purses. However, the floral prints on their dresses were different, with Loretta also opting to wear white turncuff socks with her footwear. SJP possibly had that outing in mind when she later spoke to the Evening Standard about the rare style squabbles she and her daughters would have around that time, saying, "Typically, it'll be about something that's inappropriate for the occasion. Like, we're going to the ballet. You should wear a dress that doesn't have paint all over it. But some battles aren't worth having. I'll battle with them over who they are, not what they wear." While Parker's daughters have grown up with the freedom to put their own outfits together, their mom hasn't kept their closet stuffed full of expensive designer pieces to choose from. Parker grew up with 8 siblings, so her childhood wardrobe included a lot of hand-me-downs. And when it's a necessity for apparel to get passed on from child to child, parents learn how to preserve it as best they can. Parker told The Hollywood Reporter in 2018, "My mother saved everything I wore as a child, so my daughters wear my hand-me-downs." However, their wardrobes don't solely consist of SJP's vintage pieces. Parker told the Belfast Telegraph, "My son is 7 years older than my daughters, and they were offered his old pants and sweaters. I looked at it as they had an option to leave the house with clothing on, and left it up to them. Someday, the actor's daughters will have more hand-me-downs bequeathed to them." The innumerable valuable wardrobe items their mom has accrued during her Hollywood career. Parker seems to suspect that Tabitha and Loretta won't mind having those old clothes in their closets at all, telling People that she's going to let them fight over who gets what. And if her designer shoes don't fit either twin, Parker doesn't expect them to keep her collection for sentimental reasons, saying they can give them away, share them with friends, sell them, have a stoop sale, whatever they want. Tabitha and Loretta Broderick seem to enjoy a relatively normal childhood, despite their parents' fame. In a 2018 interview with AARP, Parker revealed that both twins had become Girl Scout brownies. Although Parker had the girls wearing a lot of hand-me-downs, she couldn't convince them to sport the retro brownie uniforms she discovered on Etsy. But Tabitha possibly could have created her own. In a 2020 Instagram post, Parker revealed that her daughter knows her way around a sewing machine, and included photos of some of her daughter's designs: a smock dress with pockets and a matching cloth face mask. Loretta also has a sharp sartorial eye and has played stylist for her mom. Parker told the New York Post in 2017, "Loretta moved my sweater the other day because it was ripped and falling apart." In addition to helping her mom make sure that she looks presentable in public, Loretta also possesses a talent for drawing, as evidenced by the festive reindeer picture which SJP shared on Instagram in 2019. A year later, Parker told CBS News that one of her daughters had expressed an interest in acting, but didn't reveal which one. She also said that said it wasn't the twins' top career choice. Parker recalled, "She did clarify that the other day and said she wants to go get her degree in education because she really wants to be a teacher. And I said, that's a fine and good idea, and then you can always go to acting school." In 2019, Parker told ET that the stresses of motherhood had given her a greater appreciation for one of life's simple pleasures.
I love a glass of wine at night. I love it. Never thought that would be something I would say. It took me a really long time to understand the benefits.
But while parenting can sometimes make a mom want to grab the Pinot, Parker's daughters clearly adore her. When they were in 6th grade, Tabitha and Loretta Broderick participated in a family tradition that many young tweens at least act disinterested in: hunting for Easter eggs. Parker wrote on Instagram, "They still want to do this, and it's still always a surprise, but they know I'm hiding them, and that there isn't a bunny involved." A few months later, she shared a cute message for the twins ahead of their final summer as grade schoolers, writing, "Sisters, take the battery out of your alarm clock." Parker was tickled pink again later that year when she witnessed the twins' reactions to her Vogue cover.
Both my daughters' hands went to their mouths and they were like, "Mama, you're on the cover of Vogue?"
It seems that Tabitha was an avid reader of the fashion mag, as she made an astute observation about the cover.
She said, "Mama, there's no writing on that magazine. Usually it's so busy."
In 2022, Parker delighted fans of the spooky season by reprising her role as the slow-witted witch Sarah Sanderson in the movie Hocus Pocus 2. Tabitha and Loretta Broderick joined Parker at the film's premiere, where the then 13-year-olds proved once again that they're style stars like their mom. Tabitha Broderick wore a witchy black frock with a square neckline and long sleeves, while Loretta rocked a sleeveless metallic dress that sparkled like a starlit sky. Both girls supported their mom's business by wearing SJP collection heels.
It's really nice how much they genuinely love this movie, with or without me in it, part of it. It's simply a movie that they love.
At the event, Parker revealed that she didn't introduce her daughters to the original Hocus Pocus movie. When she decided they were old enough to watch it, she offered to pop in the DVD that Disney had given her many moons earlier.
They were like, "Oh yeah, Mama, we've seen it. We love that movie."
Tabitha and Loretta attended events with their mom a few times in 2022. They showed up to support both of their parents on the opening night of the Broadway revival of Plaza Suite, in which Parker and Matthew Broderick both starred. The twins also attended the opening night of Some Like It Hot. While they seem to be big Broadway fans, Parker once confessed to feeling some guilt over raising her kids as New Yorkers. She recalled to The Edit, "I asked my daughters, would you prefer it if we had space? And they said no." In a June 2023 appearance on Live with Kelly and Mark, Matthew Broderick spoke about his daughters' high school preparations.
They're very excited about that, big step in their lives.
When the family began discussing where the twins would go to school, Matthew said that Tabitha and Loretta were originally adamant about enrolling in different high schools.
And when it was time to decide for real, they were like, "No, we're going to the same high school."
The actor went on to explain the girls' conflicting feelings.
Extremely close, but they also definitely want their own space and their own friends and their own, time. And
Matthew also revealed that Tabitha and Loretta were being a tad kinder to their dad than their mom during their teen years. But according to Parker, her husband once assured her that this is not an indication that they love her less. She told AARP, he says, "But that is a badge of honor. They do that because they feel safe, and you are really the most important person in their life." In June 2023, James Wilkie Broderick told ET that he's never watched Sex and the City, but he's seen some of his mom's work on the show's revival and Just Like That. However, he is open to watching SATC now that he's an adult. That same month, Parker told Extra that Tabitha and Loretta were about to turn 14 without having watched their mom's hit series.
It's not been something that has crossed their viewing radar. And perhaps it never will, and I understand that.
She added, "They are aware of the show to the degree that they are interested. It's not a paramount topic in their lives. The twins may never learn the stories behind some of the iconic outfits that their mom rocks on SATC, but Parker has said that they will inherit most of the contents of Carrie Bradshaw's closet." She told ET that she possesses at least 2/3 of the clothing Carrie wore on the show. However, Parker doesn't want her daughters' focus to be on the material items that she can offer them. "What I like to share with them is being curious has rewards, and they don't come immediately. What I want to tell them is curiosity is the gateway to all sorts of things you might never have imagined."